Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I decided to make a video on the 4th of July. Why not? I think we're going to be going swimming here shortly, so decided that I would go ahead and make one. Wanted to point out a couple things. First thing is that Link2, who is one of my sponsors, is going to be on Fox Business today, 10:30 p.m. Pacific time. That's Joe Endoso from Link2. And then we had this. This is Jason Cousins, the CEO of Glint, who is one of my sponsors also, and he was at the Digital Pound Foundation, and he was on a panel with someone from Citi and NatWest, Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Euro Association. It's like all paths are intersecting here. Now check this out, because this is also the Digital Pound Foundation, and let me see when this one is going to be. It says Thursday, July 7th, 5 to 6:30 p.m. This is somebody from the Digital Pound and Euro Association. Then Clifford Chance, I don't know what that is, Accenture and Quant. And then it's in cooperation with Ripple. I've got my eye on Quant too. In fact, I bought some of that today. I believe Quant, you want to tell me, let me tell you something funny. If I read it right, Quant's supply is less than Bitcoin and actually has utility. I would buy Quant 1,000 times before I would buy Bitcoin that has no utility. All right, here's Naveen Gupta from Ripple from Riz XRP.
How much adoption do you need before you feel secure that RippleNet is here to stay?
No, we are secure already. I don't think there is any question around that. But again, I've come to my original point, what we started with. Payments is a fragmented business. So I don't think globally anybody in the world has got more than 1% by transaction volume in terms of market share, right? I mean, and this is, I'm talking about very, very big players, right? So it will take some time for the consolidation to happen. And when I say consolidation is positively, right, for people to join the network, to be on the node. So the only network of significant scale, for example, at least in cross-border is SWIFT, but we all know SWIFT is outdated technology. For the newer technologies to take off, it will take some time.
How much adoption do you need before you feel secure that...
And then we had this from David Schwartz. Jimmy Song, who is a Bitcoin maxi, was talking about how proof of stake doesn't solve the Byzantine generals problem. David Schwartz replied to him and said, proof of work has no partition tolerance, therefore doesn't solve the Byzantine generals problem if network partitions are possible, and they definitely are. Therefore, it can't provide decentralized consensus. That's called shots fired, folks. Watch this. This is Tim Draper, who I think is one of the sharpest people in crypto, and I think he's one of the good guys. Listen to this.
From the other side of that, the young ones also bought up a lot of .com stocks in 1999. When they blew up or imploded, they were scared off the market for years until then the other bubble started, which was the housing market bubble and the mortgage bubble. So how long do you think, if you had to guess, how long does the washout in crypto for investors, how long does it lengthen? I don't know if you want to call it a bear market or a crypto winter or whatever. What just happened before people start dipping their toes and fingers back into cryptocurrency again?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the .com, the .bomb, the thing that blew up, because it was younger people that were all interested in the internet and all of that. And the older people said, oh God, you can't put your credit card on the internet. Yeah. Somebody's going to steal your money. And they'd say with things like, oh God, I would never use email. It's got to be physical, or I only want to invest in hardware, something I can hold and feel. Those young people were right. The internet happened. It was huge. It got concentrated into some companies that really became extraordinary. Some of them went the way of pets.com or whatever, but some of them became Amazon and Google and a big part of Apple, Facebook. There's some big companies trillion-dollar companies that came out of that internet. Well, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, is going into an industry that's even bigger than what the internet was. And all these young people, they're right.
I agree with him. This is gonna be bigger than the .com boom, no question about that. Okay, so John Deaton kind of took an issue with this guy who used to be with the SEC Office of Internet Enforcement, and he said sounds like he should not. Basically, this guy was downplaying what Bill Hinman had done and the conflicts of interest. And John Deaton said, come on, man, you worked for the SEC for 18 years and you believe in the SEC. You can do better than make a comment that Hinman was too cozy with his old law firm. It minimizes how egregious his conduct was, because as it turns out, it wasn't his old law firm after all. And then the same guy, he says, completely stand behind that post. I believe Ripple will ultimately lose, but also believe that if there were unlawful acts by an SEC official, then an IG should investigate. It's not binary. Good luck, though. I really do feel for you guys, whether you believe it or not. Well, he says that he believes Ripple ultimately lose. Well, what is a loss? Because that's what this comes down to. What do you mean they'll ultimately lose? What depends on what is defined as a loss. I've always believed that the SEC will get a settlement out of, or will get an award from Ripple. Ripple will have to pay some kind of a fine. But if they pay a fine, even if it's a big one, but XRP gets clarity, then that would be considered a win for Ripple and a win for the SEC. Both would technically win. So it depends on how he defines that. Then there was this guy in this thread right here says, so what happens to XRP holders if XRP is declared a security and has to be registered with the SEC? Looks like no one is explaining this part. And John Deaton says, most likely the status quo would remain in effect during an appeal. A buyback could be arranged for those in the US. I know the SEC offered a buyback of the Very token, but I do not know the specifics. It's up in the air, to be honest. And then he goes further here. I was referencing the Veritasium case. My understanding is that the SEC seized 98% of the Very tokens. The SEC created a fund from the money it seized and offered Very holders a buyback if they sold the tokens back to the SEC at a set price. The Veritasium case involved Reggie Middleton, but I'm not sure what Reggie can comment on, if he can at all. I know it involved patents that Reggie was later awarded, and many Very holders are passionate about the case. I haven't had the time to become an expert, So, but he's introduced just in this conversation the concept of the SEC buying back the tokens. And then this guy, his name, and I'll show you his YouTube channel so you can give him a subscribe, Zach Rector. He picked up on that and had a couple. I'll play you just the first part here.
And this guy asked, what happens to XRP holders if XRP is declared a security and has to be registered with the SEC? Looks like no one is explaining this part. John says, most likely the status quo would remain in effect during an appeal, to be honest. So we have seen that the SEC has already offered a buyback. We know that our good friend Jimmy Valley from, what's his firm called? I haven't talked about him in so long. Valley Capital, right? Or Val Hill Capital. Val Hill Capital, Jimmy Valley, who needs to come on our show, Jimmy. I'm gonna send you another message, brother, and we're gonna get you on the show because we need to have a chat about this buyback theory, because we've been one of the few channels that have actually talked about this theory and how it's legitimate, how we do have a precedent. I forget what amendment it is, but if the government wants to seize our property, or if it was deemed a security and our property is going to get deemed a security and seized by someone, whether that's the Treasury or whether that's Ripple, they have to pay us fair value compensation for that property.
Yeah, a lot of people, when Jimmy Valley first announced that he was going to his buyout terms, he had a crazy figure, $35,000, but I think he was making I think that he was trying to put that on record, and a lot of people I think said, "Oh, this guy's crazy. He's got this crazy price." But I think they were looking at the wrong thing. I think that he was trying to make sure he put on the record this high figure, because look, well, let's face it, folks. If we are talking about all the money, it is going to be a quite high figure, okay? And if that is the ultimate goal, I think that what Jimmy Valley was worried about more than anything was a government who tries to rob you and me of the potential of this asset that we spotted and we saw and we realized what it was going to be and do. And I think that's what the point all along was. So anyway, interesting points. Now, this is John Deaton, and he was on with this guy. I think the guy's name is Norman Pattis, I think. Listen to this clip. This guy's just blown away by what has gone on at the SEC. Listen to what he says.
Who is Bill Hinman? Let's cut to him.
Bill Hinman was the director of corporation and
He's got John Deaton on.
And he was a friend of Jay Clayton, who was the former chairman. They brought Alibaba and other big IPOs to the market. And the director of corporation and finance worked at Simpson Thatcher. All right,
before he went to the SEC or while he was there? What are you saying?
All right. Well, he was a partner at Simpson Thatcher before, and it turns out he was a partner during the SEC. Because
No. How could he be working full time for the SEC? Are you talking about a partner with an equity share in the law firm? In other words, an entitlement to part of its profits? Are you saying that that's what Hinman did?
That's exactly what he did, and what they did in their disclosures is he called it retirement benefits, right? But I want your audience to know that we have these documents to prove what I'm saying. These aren't opinions of John Deaton. These are facts. The SEC's Office of Ethics notified Bill Hinman and said, what you have is an ongoing profit-sharing partnership with Simpson Thatcher, and you are criminally barred from having any contact with that firm or any association with that firm's interest or its clients. And that firm was a member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, which promotes exclusively Ethereum blockchain technology.
No. You can't be telling. Are you saying to me that an SEC regulator was informed by an internal compliance officer, look, you got to knock off this relationship. This relationship was with another cryptocurrency, Ethereum, and I guess we haven't gotten to the point yet of what was Ethereum in a competitive position with Ripple at the time that Hinman was part of the SEC?
Yes, it was number two. Ripple, XRP, and Ethereum battled for the number two market cap behind Bitcoin, but more importantly, Ethereum and the co-founders they bought the JP Morgan coin with a quorum deal that Jay Clayton, the former SEC chair's firm, brokered.
You're making my head explode. You're a sophisticated guy. I'm just a guy in New Haven. You're telling us that an SEC administrator had a financial relationship with a competitor of an entity that competitor was in competition with, and he took action to hurt the competing entity. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
We're going to return to this after the break, folks. You're hearing this on WICC, and you're not hearing it enough around the world. You need to think about this, and I want to talk to you more about whether you ever got a response back from Senator Sherrod Brown, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. Who is Bill?
I don't think he did get a response. Now check this out, folks. There are some reports that Saudi Arabia is joining the BRICS coalition, and the new commodity-based reserve currency that China, Russia, India, and Brazil are supporting could be huge if Saudi Arabia and other OPEC members join. The end of the PetroDollar. Folks, I showed you this months ago, okay? And this, if you look at this, I've always felt like all of this was about, I'm not going to play the video. It's long, but you need to watch it, okay? This is all about the petrodollar. And I don't care if it's Ukraine or the regulations with crypto, everything you're seeing, the world does not make sense right now. But what makes it make sense is that everything you're seeing is about the petrodollar, the US dollar as a world reserve currency, the SWIFT system, and all of it. It's all about that. And it has everything to do with crypto, specifically XRP, XLM, and about probably 15 to 20 others, and gold and oil. And it has everything to do with the Federal Reserve 2.0. It's everything, folks. That is what this is about. This is about who controls the monetary system for the next 200 years. That's what this is about. I'm writing down Federal Reserve 2.0 because that is what this is. This is about the next 200 years. All right? That might be a thumbnail too. The next 200 years. Now think about this for a minute, folks. If XRP is a part of the financial system for the next 200 years, and you were here during all of this, just think about how right we will have been. If we're right, I mean, let's spell it out. If we're right, Brad Garlinghouse is the equivalent of a Rockefeller or a Vanderbilt in the next 200 years, or his family dynasty or whatever. Okay, check this out. This is interesting. The case has gone quiet. Does anyone have an update on what's happening, what dates to look out for? Jeremy Hogan says the only thing we are waiting for is Judge Netman to rule on the disclosure of the Hinman emails. That should be next week. That'll be interesting. Okay, I think that is the end of my video. I was doing some research there. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that it is the 4th of July, and I made a video anyway. Why not? Thanks for listening.